I'm no longer the intro guy.
Okay. It is weird going to be saying episode 26 knowing I haven't done 24 or 25, but
We can say that.
it'll be funny saying like, yeah, I hope the Q&A episode was good, knowing that I have no idea if it's even going to come out.
You could say we can't. This is episode 26 because episode 24 might be a big product launch.
Well, they won't. They'll already know because they'll already have heard 24.
Oh, that's true. That was stupid.
Never
Cut.
mind. We got a new intro.
Cut. That was the stupidest thing I ever said.
Hello again, and welcome to episode 26 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. This episode is voted number 1 by 3A Composites, who's here with us in studio. So thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Q&A in episode 25. It went awesome. It's literally a month and a half away from today, so I have no idea how it went. We're just hoping at this
There was
point
like 1,500 people listening to it live.
We're hoping it goes smooth. We have no idea. We're recording this way ahead of time, so it's super weird to be. You'll hear the intro. You probably already heard the intro of him not understanding how episode 24 and 24 comes before 26, but we'll get it figured out at some point. So hopefully that went well. 26 is cool because there's 52 weeks in a year, so this is the halfway point to 1 year of regularly podcasting, assuming we don't miss. As we're recording this, we haven't recorded 24 and 25, but if we do, we did at least half a year consistently. So
That's pretty good.
So we did it.
When we only plan on doing a couple.
Yeah.
But you guys love us so much, and we're still after the ISA influencer badge. ISA, we want the influencer badge.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. So.
What about your Nakusa cup?
Oh, once again, shout out to Nakusa for sending these sweet cups. If you want to get a shout out on the podcast, just send us free stuff because we'll shout you out on the podcast.
And until we get either another hat or cup, Nakusa will be the sponsor. And if that happens all year, too bad. That's all year.
Good job, Nakusa. Then that was
I'm trying to think who should probably send us one. Maybe like Transfer Right.
Yeah, probably. Or 3A. 3A can send us some stuff.
Yeah, 3A should send us some stuff too.
Some fun stuff.
For sure.
We'll just start. We're going to get so much stuff that we're going to have to. It's going to be like a 17-minute ad roll at the beginning.
Whatever.
We got like a whole box.
And a shout out to Victor, right?
Victor. So if you notice this Yeti cup, he has an obsession with Yeti cups. If you notice, that color is not one that you can actually get as he's rattling it on the table, so you can barely hear me anyways. So that cup is wrapped by Victor, Wraps for Less. Rick will put his tag on the screen somewhere here so you can see it if you're watching the video. If not, look at the description.
What do you mean I have a Yeti obsession?
Yeah, I tell everybody that he's so obsessed with Yeti, he has the Yeti dog bowl and he doesn't have a dog. So it gives you, it's not a joke. It's a real thing. It's sitting outside at his house. I don't know what it's for. I think when I'm not there, that's how my kids get water during the day. So
that's how Cove drinks during the day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or chipmunks or
you don't mind. Well,
raccoon.
All at the same time too.
Well, Erika, thanks for coming. Hopefully the intro wasn't too long there. It wasn't too bad. But the way we always start, if you want to just go over kind of who you are, how long you've been in the industry, what's your current role at 3A?
Okay. Erika Smythe. I've been in the industry almost 5 years now, coming up in October. I am a, Midwest district manager for 3A Composites, which I guess is like the fancy title for sales professional. And I cover Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and just recently I was gifted the state of Michigan. So now I get to call on, you fine folks here in Belmont. So it's been a lot of fun working in Michigan.
What'd you do before this?
So my career wise, I've always worked for manufacturing sales. I've worked for a big paper manufacturer, selling towels, tissues, wipers, and soap, if you would. And I did that for 13 years. So I was in sales, calling on distribution. So it was the same type of go-to-market strategy is what we have here at 3A Composites, where we're selling, we'll call on the end user or the printer or the processor, but we sell through distributors. And then, let's see. So I did that for 13 years, but I was in first sales, and then I was in a corporate training. So I did corporate training for a bit, and then I was in management for 2 years. And then after that, I had these 2 little babies, and I was traveling a bunch, and it was time to take a break. So I stayed home for 6 years, and then that turned into like a volunteering career that I did. So I was, I started volunteering at the library so I could understand like what kind of books are the kids reading, and who are the teachers, and meeting like-minded parents. And then next thing you know, I was vice president of the PTO, and then I was president of the PTO, and then we're doing fundraisers and building community. So that was a lot of fun. But I ended up spending a lot of hours doing that, where my husband's like, okay, our kids are in travel basketball, you need to go back to work. So here we are.
How old are your kids now?
My daughter is 15, going to be a sophomore in high school. And my son is 13, going into 8th grade.
You're in a tough years right now. Yeah. I started traveling when my kids were young too, but I think it's because they're so ugly I couldn't even stand being home with them.
Yeah, I am back on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the same boat. Yeah, lots of travel.
Yeah, you got young kids too, and they travel. But I traveled a ton. Like I didn't really travel until you guys were almost gone, though.
Yeah.
Like it was, kudos to Judy, who owns the company. She kept asking me, when you're ready, and I'm like, I'm not going to be ready till Tater's at least a sophomore. Tater's the youngest, and I think it was with sophomore or junior when I finally like, okay, let's do this. Let's make this thing bigger than we can ever make it.
Yeah.
And then that's when we did it, because all the kids were at that point gone. My wife at that point, she wasn't working at that time even. So like there was somebody there, but that's when I started traveling. Like I didn't do it when they were younger as much, because we coached soccer, we did all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. It's hard when, I'm in the spot where my wife's home too. So that makes the travel at least semi easier, right? For both at work, that might be.
But don't your kids live at my house?
Sometimes.
Or did they actually go home ever or no?
Yeah. Yeah. We try and split it 50-50.
Oh, this is a 50-50 custody thing?
Yeah.
I'm filing for child support.
Yeah. Well, we try and make sure at least 75% of the food is consumed there.
Yeah, at my house, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah. So we're gonna split it. We might as well get some food.
Yeah,
too.
We're here to talk about 3A, Tyler, not you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you're the one who talked about it. So let's. Yeah, that's a perfect transition for us. So can you just kind of go over the products that 3A covers, right? Some of our other competitors, it's pretty simple, right? We sell one specific thing. 3A is kind of more spread out. So can you kind of cover what that line is? We have this box here. If you're watching on the video, you can open it. Vanna White for me.
That'll help.
And, you gotta quit calling me Vanna White.
No, I think
I'm
it's
like
fitting.
Brad Pitt or something.
No, but
Tom Cruise?
Brad Pitt doesn't open the box and show everybody. What? So we'll let you go through it as she goes through it. That'll be fun.
Okay, go ahead. I'll figure this thing out.
3A Composites is a global company. We have, 3 American manufacturing plants here.
Where are they located?
Okay, so we make Sintra and soon Dibond and Lucabond in Benton, Kentucky. We make foam core, where we extrude all of our foam for the Gator line as well. But foam core is made in Glasgow, Kentucky. And then the Gator lamination plant is in Statesville, North Carolina.
So all your products are made here in the States?
Not necessarily.
Dibond's not made here right now, is it?
Well, we're bringing Dibond back to the States.
Okay.
So that is something. But Dibond's made in Germany right now. Dispa is made in Germany. We have Lumex, which is our PETG clear sheet. That's made in Ireland. Brand new to Wensco World is SmartX, which we recently launched, and that's made in Switzerland. So, but if we could sell it here, we want to be able to justify the capital to make it here.
So you may not know as much of the history. Maybe like when I first started here, when there was ACM was the only choice was Dibond. And I think the only choice at one point, if you wanted a 10-foot sheet, it was white on one side, black on the other. That was your choice.
That was the only option.
And then your colors were, I think it was red, yellow. It was red on one side, yellow on the other, blue on one side, green on the other. And I think you had a black. But I think that was it. And that was like, we're talking 18, 20 years ago. But that was like in the ACM world, that was that was it. That was the deal. And then it's obviously all changed since then. But like that was, from what I understand, that's all you had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've kind of gone through a wave, right, of people that are against anything coming from any of the Asian countries on that side of the world, or a lot of tariffs coming up against that. So it's good to hear like where it comes from. So most of the products we sell then, the vast, probably if we looked at our sales history, probably 80-90% of that, I guess, would be manufactured here in the States.
Yeah, from 3A, yes.
So obviously Dibond and the other stuff is coming from Europe then. So
right. We are bringing it back though. But when we do bring it back, Dibond does have a 0.012 skin, whereas a lot of stuff that's coming over from overseas is a 0.008 skin. So Dibond has
and even less. We see some of our competitors doing 0.006 and like it's like styrene.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have an EPL5, so it was 0.005.
Yep. They might even be exaggerating the numbers a little bit to make it not seem as thin as it is.
Yeah, that's correct.
Or giving you the wrong product, telling you it's the other product. So we won't mention their name. We'd have to beep it out.
Yeah. I can tell you what letter it starts with.
Yeah. Let's just say they're really maxing out their sales strategy over there.
Yeah. They do a pretty good job maxing out their ideas.
So let's talk about Dibond while we're on that subject anyways. So Dibond, we sell a lot of different ACM, 3 different ACM products on our side, Dibond being one of them. And the other products are a little lower quality, I would say, compared to Dibond. So where do you think Dibond fits into that market? In terms of what we sell, it's not going to be like the number one option for most people.
Right.
So what I'm trying to get at is like, obviously it's an option. There's a reason that we carry it. But where do you think it fits into people who are currently purchasing ACM panel?
So our Dibond has, a 10-year warranty. So, if you want something to last forever, Dibond's the choice. Again, it does have the 0.012 skin, which is, more high end. We do have various colors, as you mentioned. We have green and red and blue and yellow and mirror anthracite, which is like a mirror with like a black cast, if you would. So, and then white and black. So we have a lot of different colors and then once we bring Dibond back to the States, currently right now it has a polyethylene core, a PE core, which is black. So people want that black edge. But our Alucobond has a plus core, and it's a proprietary mineral core. I don't know exactly what it's composed of, but the reason why our Alucobond has that core is because it is fire resistant. So if there is a building where the Alucobond is clads a building, if there's a fire, it's not going to have melted plastic all over. So Dibond will have that core once it comes here.
So I think what you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when people are referring to, I think they call it like fire retardant panels, is basically what architectural firms would be asking for, or like if it's on the spec sheet. So that's the other thing I think we see with Dibond is if you get any of the bigger projects or even some of the gas station canopy companies, if you're getting into spec work at all, sometimes Dibond will be the spec on that, meaning like that's the only product you're allowed to use for that product.
Yes.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong too, but Dibond in Europe is kind of like the standard panel is what it sounds like from that. And that's not coming from 3A. That's coming from the alley panel. So that's who it's coming from. They said that who we have to compete with, the reason they changed their white point was because they needed to compete with the number one. So they changed it to match Dibond because that's kind of the industry standard.
When you look at 3A in general, their products are like, like Kleenex or onesies. Yeah. Like it's a tissue is not a Kleenex, but Kleenex is a brand name. A onesie is not a onesie. It's I don't know what they call it now, but it's like you think of like Sintra, like, oh, it's Sintra. Like, well, no, it's actually just a PVC sheet, but like people call it Sintra. Like it's so 3A is created, like their brand name is what it's like a Kleenex. So like they did a very good job of creating the name for the industry. Like when people are talking about a PVC, they're like, oh, I need like a Sintra type sheet. Okay, well that's and the reality is that's why we carry it. Like we are a brand name. Like we have laminators, we have Sintra. We have the brand names because that's who we are. Like, and I look at the reason we have the brand names is you look at like companies that failed, like Kmart failed. Kmart had, if you look at who Kmart had in the early 90s or late or mid 80s, look at all the brand names they had, and then look at the brand names they had in the mid 90s. They went away from all the brand names. They went to cheaper. What happened? Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it. No, you're good. You have to think about it in terms of, we talk about this with 3M on the vinyl side of things. Like we don't get Avery Dennison, Arlon. They're not where they are without 3M. Like 3M is pushing all the innovation. They have a lot of staff dedicated to bring on new products. And that's where I think 3A fits on the substrate side, right? Like we aren't where we are in PVC sheets, foam sheets, and ACM panel if 3A didn't originally bring those over, right? Somebody would have done it later on. We'd be a lot further behind if 3A hadn't done the legwork ahead of time. So that's kind of, I think, where they fit in. So there's a lot of people obviously that have come out with their own PVC sheets, ACM, even foam products, all of that stuff. But you guys kind of did it first, and a lot of people are locked in, right? This has worked. We'll keep using it because we've never had an issue with it. But you were the first mover, so that kind of gave you the advantage there for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have that brand name where, it's utilized, almost generically, like, Sintra, but it is actual Sintra. So sometimes and the funny thing is, and this is the ironic thing, is that I used to literally sell Kleenex. So now I've sold Kleenex, and now here I'm selling Sintra and Dibond, and the names, the brand names that, if you would.
Yeah. I'll literally tell them, because you obviously sell that, what's the PVC under Sintra? It's called Sintraverse. But you'll literally have people even buy that, or even we have some other, like the 5x10 PVCs made by a different company. It's like, oh, well, it's got these defects and it's got this. And I literally look at them like, buy Sintra. Like if you need a perfect black sheet, buy Sintra and you're going to have it. And like, oh, well, it's another $4. Well, you better spend the $4 because you just spent $15, $20, maybe even $100 calling me because that sheet had some defect. Yes, and I don't know the whole process, but like you have the run marks in it. Like, yes, they're trying to make it cheaper. They're putting more air in it. That's the reality is they're making it cheaper. You have a cheaper product. You want a good, perfect product? Buy Sintra. It's going to look great. And is that $4 or $5 worth it? Probably not. Like if you want a good sheet, buy the Sintra. If you want the cheaper stuff, okay, well, they'll throw a bunch of air in it. You're going to all of a sudden be routing it, and you're going to have this big air pocket. Yeah.
It's something I'm sure you run into as well, but we'll run into if we're going into like, this is across substrates too, but especially in this market, like we'll go into a competition where they're like, oh yeah, we're buying Sintra and then they'll give out a dollar number. And you're like, man, how are we going to compete with that? And then once you get into it, you realize that they're calling it Sintra, but they're not buying Sintra. That's right. So we run into that too. And foam, we run into all the time, right? Where in their head, they're saying like, yeah, we're buying foam core. And then you go and they're not foam core boxes. You're like, okay, so we need to specify here. You're not buying foam core. You're not buying Sintra. You're buying a PVC product and you're buying a foam product.
I usually just ask them what it says on the side of that box because there's always Chinese writing it. Okay, so what does this say? I said I can read Chinese. I said it says no warranty, piece of crap sheet.
It says not Sintra.
It says not Sintra, piece of crap.
Happens all the time. That's what it says. Like, see, that's a little toilet seat on there. That's that last Chinese symbol is a toilet seat.
I don't know what that is. You were right though. I don't understand. That's where I don't understand how that works. But it's something we run into just frequently where you're trying to come in to quote it, and our competitors are selling it as Sintra or as foam core, but they're just referring to it as that general line of products. And the reality is they're not actually selling that product that in your head you're saying, okay, I'm quoting Sintra on this job. So that's something you run into. So I give that as a heads up. Like if you currently are buying from any of our competitors and on your order form, you're buying Sintra, but it doesn't say Sintra on the order form, you're probably not getting Sintra because it just has become the name for PVC. So if you're getting a cheaper product, they're telling you, oh, you need Sintra and selling it to you, but it doesn't say it. You're probably not getting Sintra.
Okay, so this is a quick story. I was just recently in a customer, and he was complaining about the price of, it was actually Sintra versus that other crap that other company sells.
I didn't know that.
And I looked at him, and he has, and you know how I feel about Vineyard Vines, but he has a Vineyard Vine shirt on. I said, look, I said, see your shirt? Yeah. I said, see that logo on your shirt? I said, that logo cost you $50. I said, but you're going to beat me up over $4 out of that sheet. I was like, why did you buy that shirt? Well, it's a name brand. Then buy the name brand. Why'd you buy the name brand? Well, it's going to last. Then you just answered every question you just asked me. Buy the name brand. It's going to be better. That's how they got to be Sintra. Like they got to be Sintra because they made a quality product for so many years. And the reality is you bought Vineyard Vines because they have quality. Yeah. And I said, well, I can't say on air what I actually told him what I thought about Vineyard Vines, because I also know there's another guy out there. His name's Jared. He has this blue and pink one that you're supposed to give me. Jared, send me your shirt. He was supposed to trade shirts with me.
I know he's watching, so
he's watching.
He'll let you know. But
I'll talk to him. When's this episode airing?
Late August.
Oh, it's gonna be too late to get that. I think it's long sleeve.
Yeah.
It could be in the mail right now.
If he sends it to you, it'll be like September by the time you get it. So it's the perfect timing.
I'll wear it on air, Jared. Send me your Vineyard Vines, like that
with your
blue
logo
and pink
on it
checkered shirt. Send it to me, Jared.
You can even put your logo on it. We'll wear it. We have no shame.
Yeah. Yeah. We had his logo on the Minion that one episode.
That is true. We did. So we talked about Dibond. We've been talking about Sintra, kind of that name brand. But if we talk about what actual Sintra, what are some of the practical applications for Sintra? So,
interior signage, 3D lettering, partitions in like grocery, hanging signs, outdoor kiosks, outdoor signage, medium application for Sintra.
Yeah, because I think it's, I always refer to it's kind of like the product in the middle, right? So we have ACM, which is above that one, and then you have corrugated plastic, which is below that one, obviously. Yes. So what are some applications on both sides? So what are applications that currently maybe they're looking at corrugated plastic for that Sintra would be a better alternative for? And what are applications where they're using ACM, but they could maybe save money and use a Sintra product instead?
Like maybe a promotional campaign, signage, window signage, that type of thing.
Okay.
POP displays.
Okay. So something that I think that just probably becomes a question of how long is it going to be up, right? Like if you're talking like it's going to be up 4 days, it's like, okay, probably get whatever the cheapest option you can get is. But if it's going to be up longer than that, maybe it's like, okay, this will just going to hold up, right? It's not just going to bend over and break. So
exactly.
There's probably options out there where people are using either end of that market, and they probably could go either direction on that one.
Yeah, it depends on what do they want? What kind of look do they want to? What kind of aesthetic? So that's something to think about as well.
Is there times you run into people using on the other end? Is there times you run into people using like a foam core when they should be using like a more like a Sintra or an ACM panel, for example?
Anything outside.
Yeah, I mean, foam core is more short term, right? I mean, it's foam with clay coated facers. So, I mean, it goes to print, it pops, but it's really short term. And for inside, you definitely don't want to put foam core outside.
Okay.
Not at all.
The same with Gatorfoam as well. Well,
Gatorfoam, we do have a Gatorfoam outdoor. So Gatorfoam exterior is what it's called. And it starts at like the 1 inch all the way up to 3 inch, and it has a different adhesive than regular Gatorfoam. So you can put it outside, you could paint it. So that the birds don't peck at it. But for 3D lettering outside, Gatorfoam exterior is definitely something to go for.
So that's the primary application for Gatorfoam. Where I'm trying to get with that one is, where would someone use Gatorfoam outdoor versus using Sintra outdoors?
You know what? I just had a situation where they were making a comparison between Gatorfoam and the Sintra XT that we have. And, you know, Sintra XT is more, it's a Saluka hybrid. It's more dense. So it's great for outdoor, but the Gatorfoam is lighter. Gatorfoam is really light. So for 3D lettering and with the ability for the adhesive to be able to handle the elements outside, it was the choice that they made. So
how long would you put like Gatorfoam outdoor? How long is that rated to be?
Gatorfoam outdoor, you know, that's a good question. I think that I'm not sure exactly what time, but it's medium term use. Okay. So, you know, put it out there for a couple months.
I can remember years ago, there was a company in town that did Cabela's when Cabela's was still around. And the reason they chose Gatorfoam was because they were using the old suction cup with chains on a lot of their stuff, and they needed it super lightweight because that suction cup was only rated for what? And you know, you're indoors and you're hanging these from the ceiling. And so obviously Ocean makes sure the suction cup has to be rated for this, and then what's your sheet rated for? Yeah. And it was only rated for like 11 pounds, and they have to print it. Like, what do you guys got? I'm like, man, we got 3/16 Gatorfoam. And the next thing you know, he's getting a truckload and he's printing every single board. Yep. So like that is a good, like just being lightweight makes a difference, because if you're hanging it from like a drop ceiling or anything like that, like you need that lightweight. Like that's how other products came around too. Like everything else heavy. Sintra's kind of heavy. Everything else kind of heavy. ACM's heavy. I mean, it's not super heavy, but if you think it's not heavy, pick 10 up at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or then pick 10 Gatorfoam.
Or hang it above your head for a few days.
Yeah. Put it on your head.
Yeah.
And see. Yeah. Drop it from 5 feet on your head and see if Gatorfoam hurts, ACM hurts, or what hurts.
Yeah. So
maybe we can get, actually, Jared, can you try it for us? Thanks. Use MDO too, 3/4.
Yeah.
And Gator's another thing. You hear Gator board, Gatorfoam. Gatorfoam is unique to 3A Composites and very lightweight.
Yeah. The plus side with Gatorfoam, like if you've worked in the warehouse or you've been in the industry at all, I think you can tell it's Gatorfoam within about 1 second of seeing the board, compared to like foam products where like they can make foam products that are pretty similar, but I've never seen a Gatorfoam alternative that I was like, oh yeah, this feels like it's a very specific feel to it. So it's kind of,
when you have me and all three of our boys, like the whole family's in the industry, when we go into like places like, oh, what is it? And like we always have to touch it and squeeze it and oh, you can't quite put your fingers in it. It's definitely not a foam core, definitely not like a or ultra mount or whatever you want to call it. Like, so
makes it.
We always look at it.
Yeah, everybody.
We look at every sign, and especially with us and 3 boys that all we're all in it. This is our life. This is what we talk about every day. So we touch every sign that we see. And then argue about what's actually made of.
Yeah, exactly.
How it's printed.
If they use any of them and don't take the back off, that makes it my favorite.
We're having a sales meeting this week.
I saw it too.
We were just at a restaurant right here in town, and we walk up on this deck, and there's a sign that said, what'd the sign say on the front?
I don't know.
Something about be careful. And then we get on the other side of the sign, it says Alpha Panel on the back. They never took our masking off. It's just a random restaurant here.
It says Wensco.com on the back of the panel at the restaurant. So thank you guys for not peeling it off.
That's the score here in Grand Rapids.
Shout out.
Oh, now our competitor's going to go peel the back off.
They won't be able to peel it off because it's screwed on from the back.
So, but
publicity is good publicity.
Like I said, we see it all the time. We get pictures from our drivers all the time where like they'll see a sign up where it's like it's a 4x8 sign that's on post, and it's a one-sided sign. The back side still says all Alpha.
Yeah, they didn't even peel the back off. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's sign man for you. That's why we love them.
It is 100%. So, kind of covering foam products. So you mentioned Smart X.
Yes.
You have foam core. You have Gatorfoam. Can you just explain the differences when you would use each of those 3, or what applications they are? Because for some people that kind of are going to seem like a very similar product. So why do you have all 3? What differences are there between them?
Okay. Well, foam core, as we mentioned, is a short-term application. It's foam with paper clay-coated facer. So when you go to print, it's a very bright, the ink adheres to it really nice, but it's short-term, interior signage for foam core. Sintra is medium term usage. It can go outside, and POP displays, hanging signs, partitions in stores, 3D lettering, that type of thing. So we have foam core Sintra, both made in the US. SmartX is styrene face board, and which is it's a unique board because it's a co-extruded molecular bond board, where it doesn't have any glues or binders in SmartX, and so it can be recycled. It also has up to 2 years outside. It can withstand the elements. It has some UV protectors in it. Very rigid, very lightweight. So that's just coming into the market now. So I'm really excited about that board. It did really well in Europe. So it's a Europe favorite. So now we have it here.
If you're doing any event signage right now, if you're wrapping posts or any of that stuff or putting up those big banners or those big drops, SmartX is the product we've seen probably in the last couple of years, at least for shows, as the ones that they're putting up like in the aisles, right? So if you see those signs and they're, 1 inch thick, standing in the middle, they got little stands on them. They look like a really thick cardboard, almost like, but painted, obviously. That's kind of where we've seen in the last 24 months or so, where SmartX has kind of taken off as like, hey, this is like literally like built signage for trade shows. That's like the main on our end that we've seen. I don't know if you can cover the other applications for it as well. But so if you're doing any trade shows now, look at SmartX, look at those displays that a lot of the trade show companies are selling those now in terms of just like finished signs. But that's something you definitely could bring in house if you're able to extrude it and you're able to print on anything that's 1 inch thick. Great application for it. So just be aware. New product. So.
And why do they use it?
Why do they use it?
Yeah, I know why. I'm just wondering if you know why.
No.
It's lighter. And maybe we can't say this, but America's getting weaker. Not as many people going to the gym. Everything's getting lighter. Yeah. Which, okay, you're saving your back, you're saving your arms. But the reality is like everything's going lighter, and it is a lighter product. I mean, it's when you can grab a sheet that's 1 inch thick and anybody can pick it up. The smallest person can grab it and pick it up. Like, so it's just easier to move.
Yeah.
Like where I'm not the guy that's, hey, easier to move.
That's it.
Yeah. It's
See
just
how light it is?
It's just, everything's getting lighter because we're all getting weaker.
Yeah. So it looks like, it's funny to me. It's funny that, this is a recyclable product. Mm-hmm. And the middle of it looks like styrofoam, which I don't know a lot about styrofoam, but my understanding was not the easiest to recycle, at least the original styrofoam that came out. So interesting product. What do we appreciate? We've talked about this a few episodes already, but I appreciate a product that isn't just green for the sake of being green.
Right.
That's kind of our biggest pet peeve from the last 2 years for sure. Like we've probably done, how many meetings do you think we've done where the whole premise is we got a new green product?
We hate when a new vendor comes in or even an existing vendor comes in and says, hey, we got this new green product. And I look at them like, well, how's it better? Well, it's not. It's just green.
It's just green.
And what's the cost? It's more expensive. So basically you bought another product. It's more green, but it's more expensive. Listen, and this isn't dig on the Midwest. Like, we're not going to pay more for a green product, but we will pay more for a green product that does something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And finally, we have something like you have something.
Yes.
And we just talked about Arlon has something like, okay, it's a little bit better and it's green. Okay. Now we can justify by buying it.
Honestly, or even the same price.
Even the same price.
I would cover that like
equal.
If you had two products, one was green, one wasn't green, the same exact, they accomplished the same goal. They were the same price. That's an easy sell. Like, okay, even if you don't care, you can at least put it in your recycling bin, right? Like in Michigan, a lot of times the recycling, depending on where you live, could be free, like versus you pay for trash everywhere you go. So like that alone is a benefit. Like you can put it in the recycling bin instead of the trash can. So we appreciate it when you get both. You get a green product.
Yes.
And it accomplished something that kind of is hard to fill right now. I think it fills a void between like where Gatorfoam is and kind of where like the standard, like we've been seeing like the actual cardboard that they print on, but the benefit here is that the cardboard kind of will fall apart, right? Like if it even remotely touches water, if someone spills a drink on it, that cardboard sign is done. Like it's ruined. Versus this, at least will make it through the show. So
Yep, it'll make it through.
And they've changed that some a little bit too. Cell phones change this because more signs get walked into than ever before. I mean, it's just the truth, right? Like there is more like, maybe I shouldn't say this, but okay, there's a little game I like to play when you have someone walking in front of you and they're on their cell phone looking down. I'll do the same thing, pretend like I'm looking down.
Is that the Pokemon Go?
No, they'll just be looking at it,
Oh.
texting or whatever, looking down. I'll see them like they're texting. I just pretend like I'm texting and run right into them. And it's just like,
Oh, just for fun.
oh, we were both looking at our phones, and I'm a little bit sturdier than they are. And sometimes like it's yeah. So, but it's, you see it more and more, like people walk in, like even like grocery stores have changed some of their displays. Like some of the ones that were easy to knock down, they've changed their displays because of cell phones.
yeah. So yeah, if you're using the cardboards versions, look at SmartX. That's what we're trying to say. So it's a new product from them. So
And it's lighter.
yeah, it's a good solid option. So I think we kind of covered Dibond, we covered Sintra, foam cord, and Gatorfoam. So I think that covers the main ones that we sell. Is there any products that we haven't talked about yet that you think people should know about?
Well, we have, we do have 100% FSC certified paper boards, if you would. We have Dispa, we have Polar, which is a honeycomb board, and we have Sweat board, which is a load bearing MDF replacement. And so if there is a need for that, we have it. So we've rounded out our paper board offering, if you would.
So any, I think you guys pretty much cover any short-term signage solution pretty much in the market is what it seems like. I mean, there's probably a specific one out there that they don't cover, but any board short-term that you could possibly need, 3A probably has it. So if you have questions on it, like I said, we should be able to answer them for you. If not, we can get a hold of Erika. She'll answer them for us.
I'll just tell you, if you're not using Sintra, using this other air-filled PVC from a different company, it's maybe time to buy some Sintra and get some good products out there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wearing a Vineyard Vine shirt and you're not buying Sintra, you should be buying Sintra.
If you're wearing any Vineyard Vine's not specific. If you're wearing any name brand shirt, I feel like it's time to also look at
Lululemon. I don't know all the
Gucci.
brands. It's Gucci.
That's the term, the teens are using. It's Gucci.
That's funny. So they're using a name brand to refer to people wearing name brand clothes, which is kind of funny. So
that is pretty neat.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't deal with name. Well, maybe Yeti.
Yeah. You have a Yeti obsession. We already talked about that though.
If you're using Yeti, you need Sintra.
If you're drinking out of a Yeti and you're not buying Sintra, or you see somebody do that, give me a shout.
What he
wants
to clarify is if you're not using Yeti, first switch to Yeti, and then second buy Sintra, and then you'll be all set.
We have a very firm policy at this branch in Grand Rapids. You do not bring something that's not Yeti. And Rick's got some over there that aren't
Rick just
Yeti.
had to take his off the table.
He is probably not going to be here much longer, so hopefully we get some of these episodes in if you don't switch to Yeti.
If you guys remember like 10 episodes back when he spilled his water on the ground, if he had a Yeti, it wouldn't have spilled.
That's exactly right.
It would have just stayed
Has
on the
Yeti
table.
sent
like
you a cooler yet?
They should.
They should.
If they saw my,
After we get the influencer badge at ISA, we'll get our Yeti sponsorship.
You get the Yeti cooler.
If they saw my Yeti collection, like if they come out with a new color, I have to get it that day.
We almost had to drive like an hour and a half because the Yeti store in California has special colors apparently. And we almost made the drive after the show. We had like a 30-minute window to get there because it was already closing. And we still almost made the drive.
I have every color plus wrapped ones, like every wrap color.
We almost did.
Yeah. So.
Well, once again, Erika, thanks for coming out. The last question I kind of asked, two questions on the end. Why should someone buy 3A Composites versus purchasing from one of your competitors?
I already said it's air-filled crap.
Yeah, I want to hear from 3A,
she can't say that, but I can say it.
That's why you led with it.
Air-filled crap, but you go ahead and say your answer.
Well, 3A Composites, it's in our name. So, if the way it is our keys to success, the 3As, it's advanced teams, advanced material options and combinations, and advanced solutions for customers. So if you go to Google and you ask AI, they'll give you another answer, but this is what they've changed it to. So that's why I go to 3A.
Buy the Kleenex brand, which is Sintra. Buy Sintra, buy Gator,
Especially if you're having issues.
buy
Dibond.
Dibond. Like, buy the name brands. There's a reason their name brands stuck around that long. There's a reason that you guys call your PVC Sintra. It's the better brand. Like, brands that don't make it don't get that name. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah. And this is something we've talked about too before. If you're not having issues with the product you're currently using, okay, we probably don't need to say. But if you're having any issues with your current product, right? Maybe one in every, it could be a high number too. It could be like 1 in every 20 jobs you do, you run into an issue with your current product. You can make that switch and that'll make your life a lot easier. Because 1 out of 20 jobs, if you have a headache on and you could get rid of that, it's going to save you a lot of time. So
yeah, when you get your black PVC and it has roller marks in it, yeah, they're running it fast. Why? They're pumping a bunch of air in it. They're trying to run it fast. Sintra's not run fast. Like, everybody that's listening, that you buy that cheap crap, look at it. It has roller marks in it. Oh, why does it have these roller marks in it? Yeah, that's why it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, it looks bad. So Sintra doesn't have that.
Yeah. So last question, how can someone get a hold of you if they have any questions or concerns, or if they want to if you're looking on video, we have these boxes that we don't get a lot of them. So don't like everyone reach out, but if you need something to show your customers, we can get them, I think, hopefully.
Yes, sir. If you go to 3acompositesusa.com, if you drop down box for graphics and display, there's find your, and you can find your rep, and you click on, they'll have a whole map of, the United States and other. If you click on Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, my name will pop up with all my contact information, my email, my phone number. And, for people in the surrounding states, their rep will be there as well. So, and you can order samples online as well.
Perfect. Pretty straightforward. So
sounds great to me.
Anything else? Did you have anything else to add besides don't buy the cheap crap?
Listen, don't buy the cheap stuff. Like, think of where you shop for your clothes and your food and all that stuff. Do you go buy your food at Dollar General? Probably not. Do you buy your food? Wait, can I say that about Dollar General?
I don't know.
Do you buy your dinners at Dollar Tree? No. You go to you buy good food. Like, all you people that go to the meat market, listen, like
you just have to
buy the good stuff, and you don't have to worry about having errors. You don't have to call me back and say, hey, this stuff's crappy. Like, well, yes, it's crappy. You bought the cheapest product out there.
Yeah. And if you think you're buying Sintra now from a competitor, double check that the product you're buying is actually Sintra, not they told you it was Sintra, because we've run into that way too many times now. So.
We have made a competitor change their invoicing because it said Sintra, and I'm like, it's not Sintra. They're not getting Sintra. And so we've called and said they need to change it, and they've had to change it before we didn't even have to get 3A involved. I basically had to call them and say, that's not Sintra.
Yeah.
Thanks for having our back.
Yeah. It's just like that we're trying to compete against. They're like, oh no, we're buying Sintra. It says Sintra. I'm like, they don't buy Sintra. Like that sheet I'm looking at is not Sintra.
Yeah.
And the reason I know is because it has the roller marks in it and big old pits in it.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah. We talked a lot about Sintra, so if you don't know what Sintra is now,
buy your Sintra from us.
I think we covered it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having 3A products on your floor.
Yeah. We stock a lot of them, so please buy them.
Yeah. If you call and order Sintra,
please do buy them.
If you order white or black 3 mil or 6 mil Sintra, we have it in stock.
Yeah.
Dibond, we have it in stock. Yep. Gatorfoam in stock. Foam core in stock.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
4x8
sizes.
4x8s and all the. And these are old sizes too. 3A maybe I need to catch up. 24, 36, 32, 40, 42, 32, 42.
Foam
like
core,
those were all
30, 40.
30, 40. Those were all like there's reasons reasons those sizes existed, and like people keep buying them, so like you have to keep them, but like some of those sizes don't equivalent to what we have now, but like we still stock them all. 40 by 60, 4872 adhesive backed. We have it all in stock. So check it out, lensco.com, or call your rep and have them do it for you. But we prefer you use the website. But if you have questions, reach out. We're always here to help. So thanks for listening,
guys.
Thank you for being on. We appreciate it.
We'll see you in the next episode.
So, all right, thanks.
Bye.